In this video, I'm going to show you how to deploy a Flask MySQL application to production on Code Capsules. Before we begin, you need to have a GitHub account as well as a Code Capsules account. If you don't have the accounts, please watch the videos linked in the description below on how to create them, and then let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do is to log into GitHub and then fork an example Flask application from the Code Capsules GitHub repository. So just log into GitHub. And then open the Code Capsules GitHub repository with the example Flask application in a new tab. Here's the link to the repository, and it has also been put in the description below. Once the Code Capsules repository is opened, click on Fork at the top right hand corner to fork the repo into your own GitHub account. We can close this. And now we need to log into our Code Capsules account. So just click on Login, put in your email address and your password. Then click on Login. We can use the default personal space, but I'm going to create a new space for this application. So just make sure you are in the Spaces tab and then click on New Space. This will open the Create Space page. Now choose your region, which determines which physical cloud data center your capsules will be deployed to. You want to select a region which is closest to your target users. So just click on the drop down here to select the region. There's only one region available for me, so I'm going to select it. Next, you need to give your space a name. I'm going to call this space Flask, as it is going to have my Flask app, but you are free to call it anything. You can always change this name later, but the slug cannot be changed. Then click on Create Space to create the space. As you can see, I now have a Flask space. Code Capsules deploys applications from GitHub. So the next thing we need to do is to connect to GitHub and give it permissions to read from our GitHub account. So just click on the profile icon here at the top right hand corner, and then click on GitHub. This will ask you to sign into GitHub if you're not signed in, but I was signed in here. So it just showed me an install and authorize Code Capsules dialog. Here, you want to only select repositories. This is because you don't want to give Code Capsules access to all your repositories except the one you want to deploy from. Then click on the Select Repositories drop down and select the one that we just forked, which is Demo Flask MySQL. Now click on Install and Authorize to authorize. When it's done, it will redirect us to Code Capsules, as you can see. The next thing that we need to do is to navigate to the Team Settings tab to add our repository to the team. When the Team Settings tab opens up, click on Modify, and you should be able to see the repository that we connected to from GitHub. Then click Add next to the repository name, and then click Confirm after it has finished processing. At this point, this repository will now be available to the whole team and all the spaces within the team. Now go back to Spaces, and then select the Flask space. As you can see, I'm in the personal team Flask space. Once in the space, we need to create a capsule, which is a server for hosting an application on Code Capsules. To create a capsule, you can click here where it says New Capsule, or where it says Create a New Capsule for your space. MySQL is a database and Flask is for backend, so we need to create two capsules, one data and one backend capsule. Click on Create a New Capsule for your space. Since MySQL is a database, we're going to create a data capsule. So just select Data Capsule and then select the MySQL database cluster. Then under Product, select Standard, which is the one that is already selected. The other one is Premium, but Standard will be fine. Leave the default database name as is and then click on Create Capsule to create the capsule. It takes a bit of time to create the capsule. As you can see, our capsule in the Flask space was created and the status is ready. Now navigate back to the Flask space and then click on New Capsule. This time, we want to create a backend capsule. So choose Backend Capsule. Then under Product, select Sandbox if it is not already selected. The other options are Basic, Standard, and Premium, but we just want Sandbox. And then under Team Repo, choose the GitHub repository that you forked. We are going to keep the main branch as the branch to deploy from, and then click on Next. Leave Run command blank, and then click on Create Capsule to create the capsule. Code Capsules will automatically build your application when you have finished creating the capsule. While the build is in progress, you can view the log by clicking View Build in Progress next to the Building Capsule message. Once your application is live, you can view the build log by selecting the Deploy tab. Once in the Deploy tab, in the Build section, click on the View Build Log link to view the logs. As you can see, here are the logs and the status is succeeded. After the two capsules have been built successfully, the next step is to bind them together. So just select your backend capsule and then select the Configure tab. Once there, scroll down to the bottom where you will find Bind Data Capsule. Then click on the Bind option here at the bottom. This provides the capsule with information on how to connect to the MySQL database. Once the binding is complete, you have to append +PyMySQL after the MySQL in the database URL value under the capsule parameters section of the Configure tab. So just come here and then append +PyMySQL. Confirm your changes by clicking on Update Capsule and then restart the capsule by toggling on and off this radio button at the top right hand corner. After restarting the capsule, the application is now ready to be viewed. So just click on the live website link at the top of the console tab and you should see your deployed application. As you can see, our Flask MySQL application has been successfully deployed on Code Capsules. If you would like to deploy another application in a different language or framework, please take a look at our other deployment guides linked in the description below.